Many characters in the A Song of Ice and Fire novels, and a little bit so on the TV show, have lots of prophetic dreams. Now, these dreams can be used when you're trying to predict either The Winds of Winter, which is the next book that's coming out in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, or Game of Thrones Season 8. In this video in particular, I want to focus on one of Jon Snow's dreams from A Dance with Dragons. Before we get started, I am actually doing a huge holiday giveaway where there will be 5 separate winners. In order to enter that contest, make sure you're subscribed, go ahead and turn your notifications on, then leave a comment down below and slap a like on this video. You can check the gleam.io link down below in the description and make sure you follow all those instructions in order to be entered into the contest. Now, this prophetic dream that I want to be focusing on in particular of Jon actually comes from one of his POV chapters in A Dance with Dragons, and it's actually, if you have the book, it's on page 842. The night he dreamt of wildlings, howling from the woods, advancing to the moan of war horns and the roll of the drums. Boom! Doom! Boom! Doom! Came the sound, 1,000 hearts with a single beat. Some had spears and some had bows and some even had axes. Others rode on chariots made of bones, drawn by teams of dogs as big as ponies. Giants lumbered amongst them, 40 feet tall with mauls the size of oak trees. Stand fast, Jon Snow called. Throw them back. He stood atop the wall, alone. Flame, he cried. Feed them flame. But there was no one to pay heed. They're all gone. They have abandoned me. Burning shafts hissed upward, trailing tongues of fire. Scarecrow brothers tumbled down, black cloaks ablaze. Snow, an eagle cried, as foemen scuttled up the ice like spiders. Jon was armored in black ice, and his blade burned red in his fist. As the dead men reached the top of the wall, he sent them down to die again. He slew a graybeard, a beardless boy, a giant, a gaunt man with filed teeth, and a girl with thick red hair. So if you're trying to place where this would have, been happening on the show had they included this, I wish they had. I wish they had included way more of the prophecy dreams, because it's not just Daenerys who has these visions. It's a lot of our main characters. But anyway, this takes place, I'd say season 5, right before Jon Snow gets killed, because this happens, after that battle where Stannis shows up. So it's somewhere in between there. But the main line that I want to focus on from that passage was Jon was armored in black ice and his blade burned red in his fist. Now that line alone, right there, let's go ahead and snap this book shut. Jon Snow is Azor Ahai. Yes, there are many other characters who fit this role, but come on. Jon Snow literally just had a dream where he was Azor Ahai defending Westeros from, he perceived it as wildlings, but I look at it as White Walkers. You understand? Like the enemy coming from north of the wall. This line right here proves that Jon Snow is in fact Azor Ahai. Okay, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, even though I'm reading that and I'm convincing myself as I make and as I edit this video and as I record this audio that Jon Snow is Azor Ahai, but I have to step back for a second. Azor Ahai is not just one person. So, does Jon Snow fit the role the most? Yes, even if you don't even include this prophecy from the novels. Jon Snow still, out of everyone on the show, he fits the role the most. Now, Daenerys, she also fits the role as well, but Jon Snow fits it a little bit better. When I read into it, I'm thinking like the red sword, that's probably going to be Longclaw. You know what I mean? You can either look at Lightbringer being an actual sword, or you can look at it as a dragon. I've said this many times before. Dragon could literally, like Drogon, could literally be Lightbringer. So if you have one person who has Lightbringer, that's Daenerys, and you have another person who fits the embodiment of Azor Ahai, it's going to take more than one person. So let's just say Jon and Daenerys have joined officially, and Drogon is at Jon Snow's right hand. Well, that armor covered in black ice, a lot of people were like, oh, okay, that's a Valyrian steel suit of armor. We just got that Forsaken sample chapter from Winds of Winter, and everyone's like, okay, so Jon Snow's going to have Euron's Valyrian suit of armor. Nope. I look at black ice literally as obsidian. It is exactly what it is described. Like, it's frozen volcanic glass from the heart of a volcano, and it resembles black ice. Jon Snow showed us last season that he has the ability to forge dragon glass into weapons. Now, logically, the next step would be forming it into some sort of armor. You know what I mean? We do have Gendry, who was trained by Tobel Mott, which was one of the greatest blacksmiths in Westeros. And in the TV show, he actually helped Ned Stark's sword get reforged into Oathkeeper. Like, you remember when Tywin had it melted down and basically reforged into 2 smaller swords from Ned Stark's greatsword? He was trained by him. So, Gendry definitely has the ability to forge dragon glass into some suit of armor. Now, Will this dream be brought up on the show, and will we see Jon have it? No, definitely not. If Jon was going to have prophetic dreams, they would have introduced that way back in Season 1, because it's in Book 1 when he has these wolf dreams. A lot of the Stark children have these dreams. A lot of the main characters have these prophetic dreams. But this dream in particular makes me think that Jon is Azor Ahai. Now, I know him and Daenerys fit the role perfectly, and on the TV show, it's likely going to be both of them that play a part in it. But honestly, we can't have a bittersweet ending and have both of them still alive. Even if you kill off all the dragons, it's still mostly sweet, because we knew that dragons honestly shouldn't exist, because it's such an uneven playing field, you know, with the rest of the kingdoms. Like, it's basically like Daenerys has nukes and the rest of the world doesn't. So we kind of knew the dragons were going to have to go. As much as it will suck to see them die on screen, we cannot have a bittersweet ending if both Jon and Daenerys are alive. So just for this video's sake, let's say for our bittersweet ending in this hypothetical scenario, Daenerys is the one that dies and Jon has to continue on what their fight was. Now, Drogon would naturally go to someone who he's closest with, or listen to someone who he's closest with, or honestly, I could see him running away, doing like the teenager thing and just running off and crying. But I don't see that happening. I see him wanting to get vengeance on whoever could have potentially caused the death of Daenerys, or who helped, you know, bring about the end, or the end of the world. And I kind of just glazed over that. But like I said, for the sake of this video, let's pretend that Daenerys is the one that dies. Like, it's a very common theme in Game of Thrones, and we know that stuff is circular by nature, meaning history repeats itself. It's a very common theme to die during childbirth. 3 of our main characters' mothers all died during childbirth, that being Tyrion, Jon, and Daenerys. So if Daenerys were to die in childbirth, it would kind of be continuing that theme, because remember, she had said that she was not supposed to have any children. So who's to say that this next children, or this child that she has with Jon, doesn't kill her in the process? And if that happens, I like to believe that dragons are just as intelligent as humans, so naturally it would go, like, all of Daenerys' property and inheritance, if this were the real world, would go to next of kin, which would be Jon Snow. Technically, they didn't get married, but they had a child together, and I think it's obvious that we can all agree that they are ice and fire. So if that's the case, dragons are intelligent, they would choose to go and be by Jon Snow's side. Now, I say they because Rhaegal is also left too, but I feel like you kind of don't need 2 dragons for a final battle, and it would raise the stakes if there's just one. So let's say that the prophecy is fulfilled. If Jon Snow has Drogon by his side, he will officially become Azor Ahai in those moments. I can't help myself. I have to put this in the video. I just got an insane battle scene prediction for Game of Thrones Season 8. What if we see Jon Snow on the back of Rhaegal and Daenerys on the back of Drogon, and that's like how the battle takes place, and Drogon knows that Jon Snow is one to be trusted, and he's seen him riding his brother. So if that's the case, Drogon has even more reason to go and join Jon Snow's side. Just imagine how epic that is. 2 Targaryens riding 2 dragons into a battle protecting Westeros for the long night. No wonder Liam Cunningham said that's actually the actor who plays Davos. He recently said in an interview that it's going to take forever to film Game of Thrones Season 8. Now, if you're having monumentous moments like that in Game of Thrones Season 8, I don't mind the wait so much. On second thought, hurry up and get here, please. So now that I got my spastic thoughts out of the way, and like I just had to add that in there, but in conclusion, I honestly think that Jon Snow's prophetic dream from A Dance with Dragons can totally be fulfilled. All Jon Snow would have to do is have Gendry make him some dragonglass armor, and that would make, you know, the black ice suit of armor that Jon Snow saw himself in. And as far as Lightbringer, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the theory that Lightbringer is not so much a sword and more so a dragon. We saw the damage that the dragons can do against the forces of evil. They basically wiped out, Daenerys honestly wiped out like a quarter of his army within a few seconds. So it's totally possible for Lightbringer to be represented as a dragon. A dragon will do a lot more damage than a flaming sword. So let me know down below if you guys think that this prophecy has a chance to coming into fruition into Season 8. And also, if you think that Gendry will be forging Jon Snow a suit of Valyrian steel / dragonglass armor. Let me know down in that comment section below. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, I am having a major holiday giveaway going on here where there will be 5 separate winners. And if you want to enter that contest, all you have to do is leave a like on this video, comment down below, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube, and then check the gleam.io link in the description. Follow all those instructions so that you can be entered into that contest. Super special thank you to the executive producers of this episode from Patreon. Those are Terry and Mario. Without you, all these videos would not be possible. And also, super special thank you to every single person who's a member over on my Patreon family. If anyone watching would like to show your support to Sir Hunt's Reviews, you can check the link down below in the description. Thanks again for watching. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews.